Are you ready for another box office breakdown? Yeah.
Sounds like for Karate Kid, it should be wah, 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 wah.
I don't have a ton to say, so I had to lead really strong and bring the energy there. But I did want to clarify, so when we talk about Lilo and Stitch being up 51% and Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning being up 55%, that is not from their prior weekends. That is from their Friday to their Saturday. So this is talking about how strong and successful their Saturdays were based on their compared to their Fridays, and that makes sense. You know, we just had a 4-day or 3-day Memorial Day weekend. It makes sense that there's going to be some kind of drop. But these are strongholds for both of these movies. It shows a lot of interest. I think it is evident of some repeat viewing. Now for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, we talked about it a little bit last week, but Dead Reckoning Part 1 back in 2023, it ran into the buzzsaw of Barbenheimer in 2023. And I was kind of wondering what kind of impact that really had on it. But again, The Final Reckoning does not have the same kind of competition, and it is actually released a little bit earlier in the summer. But I think if you look at the weekends side by side, this is actually tracking like in lockstep with Dead Reckoning Part 1. I think it's doing a little bit better. So I think that might just be indicative of, we all love the Mission Impossible franchise here. We all love Tom Cruise. But, maybe it should be the last one. Maybe he's getting a little long in the tooth. And, maybe we hold off for a couple of years till he can come back in a blaze of glory and win that Oscar for Best Stunt. But I do, before I get out of here, I have to admit, I did not see Karate Kid Legends. I'm sorry. The word of mouth was just not strong enough. And as I mentioned, I went to the movie theater 4 times last weekend. So being a little burnt out, needed to just take this weekend off. But I'll get around to it.
I had an interesting experience with Mission Impossible. I was hanging out with family, my fiance's family, and just a lot of people from different age groups and different socioeconomics and different political leanings. Just a lot of very different people, and everyone had either seen or was excited to see Mission Impossible. Everyone was talking about the stunts. Everyone there in the room had seen it. And I was just it just kind of is a movie that it is that 4-quadrant, crosses all the boundaries of differences between people, I think. And it was just, I'm talking to these women in their 70s who are just incredibly excited to see this Mission Impossible movie. And I'm that's super cool. It's a movie that can still bring out, people of every demographic. And I think that's rad.